This is my boy Pato, and spoiler alert, he's about to get shipwrecked on an island. However, bro is about to find himself stuck on an island full of girls with not another single dude anywhere to be found. Now let's just say things are about to get interesting, because the first thing he finds out is that this island is called Clapper's Paradise. Anyways, let me start from the beginning, because Pato was just like you and I, with hopes and dreams, but he ended up being a sailor as he got too thirsty for being a Virgo all his life. After watching an unskippable ad claiming that every girl loves sailors, bro suited up and trained for a long time to become one, but he literally passed out during day one on the job. After passing out for literally half a day due to him not getting enough sleep because of training and grinding for mythical fruits all the time, Pato found himself feeling an unfamiliar touch. Mere seconds later, our boy realized that this was not a dream, but it's real since he made contact with the opposite gender, not including his mom for the first time ever, but it's too bad something is restricting him from standing up or moving his hands. Unable to really do anything, Pato is forced to try and reorient himself, but the only thing he can see is a bunch of girls whispering to each other in a language that is clearly not English, as he needed IRL subtitles for it. Eventually, more girls poured into the room whilst our boy could only watch on, but as more and more of them got closer, he realized that almost all of them had a look where it looked like they wanted to curb stomp him and do something sussy. At this point, bro could not even let his intrusive thoughts win, and instead, he just freaks out and gives up, thinking that his life is now over because he's heard of something devastating called death by snoo snoo. However, just as he was about to call in the surrender vote with all of his teammates AFK, something ticked in his brain, allowing him to slowly yet fully understand what the mysterious girls were saying, even though he initially had no idea what the language could be. Regardless, with some kind of miracle occurring, Pato overhears and learns that the redhead-looking chick is busy telling everyone that she wants to keep him alive, even though everyone else absolutely opposes the idea. Suddenly, after hearing a specific phrase, bro gets stuck in a flashback to almost 2 decades ago, back at the time when he visited his uncle often, even though his uncle looks like someone that would be busy at a psychiatric ward. Nevertheless, we discover that his uncle always told him a bunch of stories that no one else believed other than our boy, which included a story about an island that was completely isolated from the rest of the world, and somehow there were no men on it. Unfortunately, his uncle's life force eventually went to zero after he used his right hand more vigorously than the left one during alone time, and upon him passing, he left behind a detailed logbook for Pato, containing all the languages and information about all the islands he visited throughout his time. Back to the present, our boy is relieved that he spent a bunch of time nerding out on those books because he can now somewhat fully understand what the girls are saying, making him think this must be a fabled paradise his uncle always talked about. Now, me personally, if I found myself on an island called Clapper's Paradise and some boomer told me there's only girls on it, then you best believe I am about to transform into a seaman, if you know what I mean. Anyways, after our boy pinpoints his location through sheer brain power, he quickly shouts Clapper's Paradise out loud, causing him to get instantly ganked by the red-haired girl, where she then orders him to spill the beans about how he knew what the name of the island was. Of course, Pato accidentally gets the floorboards under him a bit wet after seeing a very sharp blade fixated on him, but I don't blame him. So he ends up screaming that his family from almost 2 decades ago told him about this place. After hearing our boy's response, all the girls get shocked as they cannot fathom how some foreigner knows their language, and even the purple-haired girl seems to agree that bro actually looks like someone they knew exactly 15 years ago to this date. One blink later, Pato goes from being pinned down like a bowling ball to being free like my Dragon Balls whenever I go Super Commando at home, allowing him to go being chilling for a bit to calm down his nerves. At the same time, the redhead, who now looks more like a pink-haired girl, begins growling while saying out loud that it's not her right to destroy his family since the entire island owes his uncle a huge favor. Nevertheless, after a few minutes of awkward silence and just intense staring between our boy and the girls, Pato finally grows some balls of dough fruit to ask if they somehow know what the heck happened to his ship. And as if it was destiny, it's revealed that the same purple-haired girl that first met his uncle when she was younger was the same one that found him washed up ashore with no ship to be found, so now our boy is literally stuck with no way to escape the island. Nonetheless, bro gets sad since he knows if he ever makes it out, he's going to be liable for all the damage, meaning he's going to be on Raymond-only watch for the rest of his life. But when all hope was lost, the red-haired girl perked up with an offer Pato cannot refuse. She then quickly closes the gap between her and our boy before flicking him straight to the ground like an absolute boss, and as soon as that happened, all the girls behind her bunched up like a Travis Scott concert, while telling our boy that they are willing to give him a ship in return for him planting seeds. 2 seconds later, our boy's jaw drops when the red-haired chief pulls out the invisible potion skill on her top part of her armor while removing the bottom one completely, looking like she's ready to win Connect 2 with his foreign spaceship. Now these girls don't play around, as it's discovered they weren't kidding when she meant for him to become a farmer, as Bro gets swarmed by 4 paradise girls before he could even accept the offer, where they then take turns using his waving flag deep inside their construction zone. And as time quickly flies by, Bro starts feeling exhausted, as it seems like the entire village is taking turns cooking with his cheesy, tender, juicy hot dogs with no care for his feelings or even his safety, as they try their best to splatter his white cooking oil one by one. However, Pedro pulls his signature move again by passing out, but upon waking up, our boy realized that everything was just a dream and not a nightmare, so it turns out he actually did not become the luckiest man on Earth in that fantasy land. We then discover that the true turn of events was that he fainted when the girls started questioning him from the beginning because he could not handle the heat his fate was packing. So instead of being the ultimate rice cake destroyer machine, he just became some doormat who's been living in a hut. He's also been basically living here on this island for over a few days now, waiting for his time to sail back to his motherland. But the problem is that he knows that the ocean current is far too strong, and based on the information his uncle left behind, there's only one day out of the entire year here where he can safely sail back out. Regardless, as our boy dotes about his future, with no internet meaning no way for him to grind every night, he gets ganked by the purple-haired girl reassuring him that eventually he's going to safely make his way back home. It's then revealed that the purple-haired girl is actually named Maya, and since she's super nice to take care of him the entire time, Bro starts having a crush on her, causing his banana tree plantation to rise up like Megatron whenever she's around. Anyways, today is going to be a special day, as she's now become his tour guide around the islands, so it's a good thing Maya did not notice our boy's hidden dragon, or else she would be reporting his ultimate sussy beka tendencies to the chief right at this instant. Suddenly, the sussy turntables turn again right before the two were able to make it to the main village, since some kind of rabbit appeared out of nowhere and sprinted right through them. And for some ungodly reason that does not make any sense at all, Mia collapsed to the ground when the rabbit got near her, causing some fresh market watermelons to pop out in the open, which hit the ground, so our boy instantly remembered his sussy dream. Unfortunately for our boy though, he only got a teaser trailer of what Maya was hiding behind her armor, since she woke up 1 minute after passing out, where she began to act super crazy, screaming for help over and over again because of the rabbit passing by. She then started crying, and since our boy had no idea what to do to comfort girls under distress, unlike some dude named Diddy, his hidden Optimus Prime shrank back to its normal form, whilst Bro tried his best to tell her to calm down, claiming that it's okay since he's here. Eventually, after half an hour of comforting Maya due to her freaking out about a single normal rabbit, her tears finally dry up, allowing her to regain her composure stat back to normal, so she begins to laugh about the entire ordeal. Nevertheless, the Sussy Fire Nation attacks again when our boy learns that the offer the chief gave him days ago was actually real, so Pro actually needs to send some lactose-free milk to each and every one of them, causing his foreign antenna to extend to its maximum length. Furthermore, after some extensive yapping from Mia, we discover that the reason the chief needed to create the offer was because there is now only 14 of them left after an intense unknown sickness ravaged the entire island, causing all the original men to disappear. As such, Mia believes it's fate that this dude washed ashore when they needed a man the most, since his cool uncle chose not to accept the same offer as he did because he did not want to get an ankle monitor due to their ages back then. Nonetheless, after eating some Panda Express and remembering his fortune cookie, our boy says screw it and starts complimenting Mia about her good looks, since if he's stuck here, then why not spend some time practicing to become a real Chad he always dreamt of being. And since literally nothing can go wrong in his mind, Bro attempts to become the alpha skibbity Rizzler with no care in the world, and somehow it works on Mia, causing her eyes to disappear, so we all already know things are about to get serious. She then transforms into a Comey look-alike from this angle before getting real close to whisper to our boy that today she has 2 special missions to do with him. First, she must show him the entire island, and secondly, she must make his banana ice cream someday spill right into her special cup. Mere seconds after hearing the second mission she was tasked with, our boy witnesses Maya activating her special Call of Duty sleight of hand skill, allowing for her to swiftly take control of his command center using both hands on deck. With Maya now flashing more green lights than a highway with no lights at all, his foreign spaceship evolves into a legendary level rocket ship, as Bro is told he is allowed to do anything he wishes. But since they are out in the open, and it's kind of dirty outside with no comfortable place to do some sussy 1v1 duels, Bro plays with her twin pyramids of Giza first before asking if they could relocate back to his hut to make things more convenient. With Maya agreeing to relocate back to his new home, Pato wastes no time by picking her up like an absolute Chad before channeling his best impression of Usain Bolt as Bro flashed through the forests to make it back to his humble hut. After basically teleporting back home, our boy instantly readied the missile he was eager to launch with no special passcode and proceeded to directly lock onto his target like an absolute menace, causing a loud sound to fill the air. Regardless, Bro cannot find himself stopping like a train from the boys, so he readies his rocket boosters and skips through his power levels of 1 to 68 within half a second, where our boy finds himself already at power level 69 with no effort at all. But remember how this dude never really interacted with girls in the first place? And since he was a Virgo all of his life until up to this very moment, Bro literally exploded his dragon missile within 3 seconds of Rice Cake destroying. So now that Pato has fulfilled his end of the bargain for 1 of 14 targets, Bro pulls a Patrick Starfish by laying on the bed thinking it's all over with Mia now. However, it's far from the truth, as it's time for Mia's turn to cook after Bro finished playing Splatoon 3. She then began taking over the Rice Cake destroying and puts the matters into her own hand, even though our boy has not reloaded his weapon in time. But Mia does not care at all because she wants to max out her control fruit on him all night long with no break in between like a true MMO grinder. Fast forward to 3 a.m. in the morning, the entire hut now smells like old wet sock thanks to their crazy 1 versus 1 duel lasting the entire night, where our boy got defeated over and over again. So he's now fast asleep like a baby whilst Maya smiles and watches him sleep like a true keeper. However, as our boy continues to sleep with no backrooms level of fear yet instilled in his brain, a mysterious shadow looking like an actual dude holding a sharp weapon began encircling his hut slowly, so Bro better watch out as he's got no door to protect him. The mysterious shadow then began creeping closer without making a single sound, Pidgey thinking to itself that they for sure want to send Pato's life force to 0 as he sleeps, but luckily Mia is still around, so if anything suspect happens then they could use something 1 versus 2. Fast forward to the next morning, we find our boy is still healthy and kicking since the shadowy figure. Looks like they aborted their mission last night, so Pato ends up finally receiving the tour that was promised from yesterday. During the tour, our boy learns that since there's only 14 girls left on the island, they were forced to split into 3 teams of hunters, cookers, and crafters to make sure life will continue as normal, and it's proven to be effective so far. Nonetheless, after finishing up with Mia's tour, she tries to walk him back home to his hut like some kind of gender role reversal, but our boy was too embarrassed due to last night, so instead he literally activated Sonic the Hedgehog and disappeared into the horizon. But since this was his first time even making it to the village, Bro already got lost within 5 minutes of him trying to make his way back, so he instantly facepalms and sighs after remembering that this is real life now, and there is no map he can just open with a click of the button, giving him a direct route to where he wants to go. Regardless, as Bro continues to wander around like a lost puppy, his life flashes right before him when he feels like he just tripped on something, and upon looking down, he knew he made a grave mistake as the trap looked like a big stepper. Underground methods. You might as well call him the pass-out king, because he found out that he was totally right, so as soon as he stepped on the makeshift trap, a bunch of darts came barreling towards his way, but luckily for him, it was meant for animals, so with one hitting him, he quickly fell asleep. However, after waking up and snapping back to reality, our boy feels something weird down below his ship's deck, and upon looking down to see what's up, Bro is dumbfounded to see one of the girls from the village cooking up a sloppy joe with extra sauce. After further investigation like he's Sherlock Holmes, Pato realizes that it's one of the girls from the hunting team he met earlier today who's the culprit behind busy drinking his Mountain Dew-flavored Slurpee with a force that could rival a super magnet. As such, our boy freaks out at the entire freak ordeal, so he starts shouting at the Rukia from Bleach look-alike. But we all know he's secretly Mac loving it inside his head, as this island of paradise is literally better than anything he could have imagined. However, after 1 minute of intense yet very effective North Pole versus South Pole destruction, Rukia abruptly withdraws from the battle right before our boy got utterly defeated, just so she could get rid of unidentified red liquid she was busy working on for him. It's then revealed that the reason why Rukia activated her sussy Fire Nation attacks with no explanation at all was because she was trying her best to quickly get rid of the poison from the darts that hit him, or else he would be Deneza right now. So after putting 1 plus 1 together to make 3, our boy joyfully jumps up on his feet to thank her for saving his life, but she tells him there's no need to thank her, as it was actually her trap that he stepped on in the first place. Regardless, after Pato learns that Rukia's real name is actually Yumi, something snapped within him that transformed him into the infamous clapping monarch when he felt overwhelming intense pressure, causing his blue eyes white dragon to awaken into his first ever mythical dragon fruit. And uncharacteristically for our boy, Bro began to have aura akin to that of a demon king, so for the first time ever in his life, Pato took initiative and took charge by instantly starting a Rice Cake duel with Yumi by placing his forbidden Excalibur on direct attack against Yumi's vocal cords. So second by second, Bro's aura began to get stronger, causing him to be even more aggressive like the enemy team top frag smurfing against me, making Yumi realize the reason why he's acting this way is because of the rock-hard potion meant for animals multiplying. This time though, our boy is able to beat his last personal best of 3 seconds against Mia, so it looks like Yumi might be in some trouble after Mount Pato exploded 5 minutes into their impromptu 1 versus 1 Slurpee duel. Nonetheless, after the cream cheese filling exploded everywhere from the subway, Yumi thought this was her chance to finally get in on the offer everyone had in the village, but she ends up realizing she might be in a treat after looking up and seeing a UFO. At this point, I would caution Yumi from even attempting to battle this dude because no fiend of heart is going to withstand his relentless attacks because of the rock-hard potion harnessing endless energy within our boy's body. Suddenly, to make matters worse, Yumi's special treasure trove begins feeling weird for the first time ever in her life, causing her water fountain to accidentally leak even though Bro has not even done anything to cause such an effect. Nevertheless, Yumi finds herself stun-locked and unable to move due to the intense emotions coursing through her veins, making her realize that the rock-hard potion might be affecting her since she did in fact drank the Mountain Dew Slurpee just a few minutes ago. Anyways, sooner rather than later, Yumi's eyes began shape-shifting into heart eyes, so it looks like things are about to get serious, especially when our boy is trying to be like his idol by readying his Hulk smash ability with 0 cooldown. But out of nowhere, Yumi begins pulling out moves on the ground exactly like that break-dancing Australian girl from the Olympics without our boy even starting his Hulk smash era, causing pressurized water to spray all over due to the sussy potion taking over her. Regardless, we discover that Yumi's father used to be the leader of the hunters on this island back before the devastating sickness wiped out much of the population, leaving only the girls surviving, and now Yumi has taken over the hunting throne as she's the most skilled out of them all. But we all know life is unpredictable since the strongest and most skilled warrior on the island is now busy trembling like a scrawny nerd without our boy even doing anything yet, causing Yumi to try and run away knowing full well she's about to get destroyed. Unfortunately for Yumi though, she's unable to make her escape as she keeps tripping over herself trying to gather enough energy to disappear into the forest, allowing Pato the Menace to grab her like she's some kind of toasted peanut butter and jelly sandwich. 2 seconds later after the grab, Yumi is unable to parry our boy's oncoming attack, so the screen turns red like that defeat screen you guys always see, basically meaning that their sussy 1 versus 1 duel is now underway. However, this duel is one for the history books as both Pato and Yumi are under the effects of the rock-hard potion, causing both parties to be at their ultimate end of their sussy spectrum, with Pato paving the way with his Hulk smashes left and right. And with every attack that Pato successfully lands, the ground starts shaking due to his superhuman strength activating, so it's like an earthquake of magnitude 6.9 hitting Yumi every single time. Eventually though, the potion begins wearing off on our boy whenever he hits his limit break and explodes his scientific volcano within Yumi's graceful lake, allowing him to slowly return back to his normal self. Nevertheless, after a few more explosions like that explosion girl from Konosuba, Bro finally loses the side effects of the potion he accidentally got hit with, so he abruptly stopped their rice cake duel whilst Pato tries to figure out where the heck he is and what he's even doing. After a few minutes of orienting himself more than Chris from Mr. Beast, and after his massive headache subsides a little bit, Bro gets shocked when he finds Yumi destroyed on the ground, splattered with mysterious stinky liquid all over, as if some monster was just here seconds before. Unbeknownst to our boy though, he was the monster behind the abomination of sussy jutsu attacks that left Yumi basically stuck in the sussy dimension. So he tries his best to find out what happened by trying to wake her up, but she's somewhat not responsive, exactly like when your FPS drops to under 30. Fast forward an hour later, it's revealed that Pato could not fully wake up Yumi at the nearby cave, so the only thing he could do was to bring her back home to his humble hut, where she finally woke up. Upon the hunting leader finally waking up, Pato instantly arrives to try and convince her to stay laying down so she could recover from whatever happened to her earlier, but she's too stubborn to listen to him as she literally remembers everything that happened to her. As such, Yumi gives him the death stare when our boy finally stops yapping about her health, where she's unable to fathom how Bro did not remember a single thing that happened between them, as it was supposed to be a sacred 1 versus 1 duel. Nonetheless, Yumi ultimately decided both would be better off if she just outright ignores him, so she swiftly heads towards the exit of the hut, whilst trying to make it look like she could walk, even though she basically had to waddle like a penguin to the door. Upon making it to the door, Yumi made a run for it straight to the woods of the island, disappearing like a fever dream, but after a few minutes of making sure Pato was not following behind her, her true emotions finally took over as it looks like another one has fallen in love. Fast forward to the next night, our boy was unable to find Yumi anywhere around the village, so bro gives up and enters the village bathhouse to clean up after realizing that he's more stinky than usual. However, just when our boy thought no one was inside and everything was clear for him to enter, he jumps in and rushes to the other side only for him to accidentally gank the chief busy being chilling by herself. Now stuck in a sticky situation as his dragon fruit fully awakened after seeing the chief in her birthday suit, bro tries to hide his forbidden dragon longsword whilst avoiding all eye contact, but it's too late. The chief has already asserted her dominance by pestering him about the deal. She then starts berating him for taking too long to fulfill the end of his bargain as it's been 10 days already, urging him to go faster and to improve even if something is going on with him since so far he's only planted his farmer seeds on 2 members of her paradise island. Fast forward to the next morning, our boy sighs after he was busy staying up all night thinking about his encounter with the chief. Unable to forget the move she pulled on him since she apparently placed both of her feet against his banana tree plantation before proceeding to leave the sauna. Now lost in the sauce, bro suddenly gets ganked by a flying chicken that smacks him straight on his head so it could use it as a launching pad to continue running away from someone, constantly yelling at it to stop as it's time for raising canes. After the chicken successfully launched itself back into the sky, a girl appears out of nowhere busy yelling at our boy to grab the chicken since it escaped from its cage, but bro doesn't do anything after finding out the chicken laid a deuce on his hair. However, upon Pado noticing that the new girl had some serious levels of gigantic mountains on her armor when she got close, bro finally sprung into action to chase the soon-to-be fried chicken as the sussy nation took over his brain. Our boy then goes on a goose chase for literally half an hour trying to capture the chicken, while the pink-haired girl watched on from afar, busy giggling at him every time he failed and got left in the dust, but in the end he was able to complete his mission. Bro then almost passes out due to the sheer exhaustion from chasing the plump chicken, but Pado was able to stabilize his physical condition when the Danganronpa-looking girl appeared before him asking if he wants a glass of milk. Initially confused by what she meant since bro's mind is stuck in the gutter, the girl had to clarify that since she's Poo-Poo, the one in charge of the dairy farm on the island, she can give him a bunch of dairy as a reward for catching her chicken. However, just as bro thought he was about to receive a refreshing cold glass of lactose-free milk, the sussy turntables turn again, causing Poo-Poo to transform into a sussy Becca as she quickly whipped out her twin pyramids of Giza right in front of Pado to witness. Regardless, with our boy not one to shy away from such forward advances from a girl anymore, he says sure without hesitating, but before they could go on with their ordeal, both Poo-Poo and Pado make their way to the nearest farm so they can hide before starting their 1-versus-1 duel. After making it inside, the two quickly initiate their sussy duel with Poo-Poo giving our boy the entirety of the promised rewards, so while laying down, bro tried to drink an entire gallon, but I don't think that's how you actually get dairy in real life. Regardless, it somehow works so you never gotta doubt cultured anime as it always works out. Plus, as bro continues to be the slurpy drinker in this scenario, his blue eyes white dragon rises up causing Poo-Poo to see something she's never seen in her life before. Now totally fixated on our boy's ultimate legendary weapon, Poo-Poo decides to experiment and play with it as her curiosity gets the better of her. But I don't blame her as she's been living on a female-only island for over 2 decades, and that's a long time. However, as she tempers the steel of the craziest blade she's ever seen over and over again, our boy's dark magician skills activate, causing an unknown sticky substance to fly out which directly speeds towards Poo-Poo's face like Apollo 13. Luckily though, Poo-Poo has an inherent skill of level 99 reactions, so she's able to rapidly block the oncoming splatter with just one hand like an absolute pro, and upon smelling it, she comes to the conclusion that dudes can also lend lactose-free dairy. Suddenly, our boy gets up like a zombie with his eyes disappearing after Poo-Poo took proper care of his biomass missile, where Pado then gets close before starting up air-to-air-mouth combat to level up the sussy within the room. A minute later, Pado pulls away from their water-breathing technique, swapping attacks to see if it had any kind of effect on her. But much to our boy's surprise, Poo-Poo already lost, causing a pressurized water fountain leak to be found underneath. Literally one blink later, Poo-Poo transformed into a grasshopper as she instantly hopped on the free ride in front of her without bro having to ask her to do anything, so it looks like Poo-Poo is going to be the 3rd completion on his mission list. Nevertheless, our boy finds himself on the defensive as he tries his best to survive the first wave of Poo-Poo's attacks, but it seems like it's going to be a long shot for him to last in their duel as bro starts to think cow herders are the most skilled of all. Turns out, his fear of being a 30-second Andy came true as his rocket blasted off like Team Rocket once again without Poo-Poo even starting her 2nd wave of attacks, so bro ends up blaming her hand jutsu for being too strong to handle. However, After procuring 2 explosions already without even getting to the best part of the sussy duel, Poo-Poo decides to take the matters into her own hands as she thinks there's no way Bro would be out of his full stamina bar without her even getting to use her brand new fresh bakery. As such, Poo-Poo pulls out some advanced techniques in relation to rice cake destroying she learned from occasional magazines landing on their beach heads. So for round 2, she combines Slurpee drinking with simultaneous in-between boats attack to reawaken our boy's mythical dragon. This time, Bro lost again, but he was able to lose with a bit more dignity as he was able to defend Poo-Poo's attacks for a solid minute 30, thanks to the reload timer his ultimate weapon had built in ever since he was born with it. So now that Bro has lost 3 duels in a row without defeating his opponent, Bro decides it's time for him to become Chadamus Prime as he's ready for the final stage of their Sussy Baka duel, causing him to finally go on an attack to unleash a torrent of fury barreling towards Poo-Poo's way. Within seconds of Pato's full rage making contact with his opponent, another tribe member began spewing out heart eyes like never before, but deep inside, Bro does not want to be like that one homie that tried to be One Punch Man but became One Thrust Man instead. But since every single one on the island are all first-timer Virgos, he knew he would have a hard time making sure his vanilla ice cream does not accidentally spill due to their very narrow entranceways to their hearts, so Bro came prepared with his stamina potion he found earlier. Suddenly, in the midst of their very intense rice cake destroying, Poo-Poo randomly blurted out "good boy" as if Bro was a dog, but let's just say our boy ain't having none of that as he's a man and he ain't no boy no more. Upon hearing her painstakingly use his wrong pronouns, Bro gets furious, causing his T-Rex dinosaur to instantly expand twice its size to show Poo-Poo a proper lesson to never mess with him. So Bro began to push the limits of attacking by going from level 669 to over 9,000 in a split second. Eventually, Poo-Poo passed out after losing the battle like a landslide, but our boy was nice enough to wait for her to wake up again since he was busy energizing himself with her prime drink belonging to her twin pyramids of Giza. Upon waking up, the two began talking about how she's able to create dairy since that's reserved for those that are pregnant. So she reveals that her mom basically passed down that specific gene as it was a survival method for the boomers back in the day. Nonetheless, with nothing really making any scientific sense, Bro just goes along with it and continues to dry up the milk well because as long as it tastes good, Bro does not care where it came from, even though that's weird as heck. Eventually, after finishing learning about Poo-Poo's past while taking advantage of the free mission rewards she's happily giving out, Bro went back home to go to sleep as he's got nothing else planned for the day. Fast forward to the next morning, our boy decided he wanted to go fishing to pass the time, but as soon as he stepped outside his hut, he got greeted by Maya, so you already know what the dude is thinking as it looks he's ready to call the rumbling. Within seconds of seeing Maya, the Sussy Fire Nation invaded, causing his banana tree plantation to blossom straight through his armored diamond pants to the point that it almost poked a hole, causing her to take notice and be amazed at how healthy the mythical dragon is. Bro then realizes that he just got caught in 4K, and it's literally the wee hours of the morning, so our boy actually gets embarrassed and tries to profusely apologize. But she's a real one, so she just took it as a compliment and laughed alongside him. But after some awkward silence with his third walking stick still up and running, Bro decides he could not stop his dragon from awakening any longer, so Pato activated Thunder struck and began domain expansioning on Mia at a nearby tree trunk. Now, this is what they call a quick attack because after completing his exploding jutsu that his opponent was begging for, she just gave him a kiss on the cheek before thanking him and disappearing back into her normal work life. With his first love on the island now gone like the wind, our boy begins stretching to try and keep himself awake since he just lost a bunch of his energy within 1 hour of him waking up, so he's just like me, already tired before getting to do anything productive. But just as Pato finished stretching and was about to head back inside to go fall asleep on his bed, he gets ganked by a shadowy figure from behind the bushes, and the only thing he could see is the outline, so Bro gets scared and tries to act as if he's not startled. Luckily for him though, Yumi pops out of the bushes like a whack-a-mole machine, still busy trying to avoid eye contact with him since she's like that emo girl you had a crush on before, but the difference here is that she literally has zero personality, if you know what I mean. Regardless, Bro finds out that the only reason she's here is because she has a gift for him which she apparently just caught while hunting, and now she wants him to eat it without explaining why or what it is, as it looks very suspicious. However, thanks to the knowledge of his uncle and that logbook filled with everything he could ever know about this island, Bro knew that the fish she just caught has the side effect that levels up his stamina levels for a little while. As such, our boy acted like he did not know anything about the not-so-yummy-looking fish. Instead, he ate it and proceeded to rice cake destroy Yumi the entire day all the way into the night, causing him to look like he's deaf after spamming Hulk smashes left and right. After finally getting done with Yumi and getting rid of the side effects, Pato decides to go for a walk to try and make sure that the fish will no longer have a strangle on his Excalibur, but Bro chooses a path he has never ever taken before. Bro then tries to beeline it towards the nearest beach as he felt like a surprise diarrhea attack is coming, and since there's no toilet paper, he wanted to just use the ocean, but upon making it there, he accidentally ganks someone busy dancing to the moonlight. Nevertheless, our boy stops in his tracks to watch the girl freely express herself with some K-pop style dance moves. Unfortunately though, Bro lets one rip, allowing the girl to finally realize someone was watching her boogie it down the entire time. As such, she ran the opposite direction and booked it faster than Kevin Durant, hopping to another super team again, but our boy tries his best to run after her to explain that he was just captivated by her moves since they were so good. It's too bad she was too fast, and since Bro can't run that fast right now while trying to hold in a number 2, our boy decides to stop chasing after her and says screw it because he does not want to accidentally soil another pair of pants. So fast forward to the next morning, Pato went to go look for her since he did not want to give off creep vibes because of last night, but he was unable to find her, so instead he went to go help Poo-Poo with the cows. There, as Bro finds himself actually gathering some real not lactose-free milk. The two bond for a bit whilst talking about the dancer, where Pato learns she dances there every night, so everyone just pretends to not notice, as they all know she's super shy. Anyways, as Pato continues to ask Poo-Poo more questions about the dancer, she joyfully answers every single one, while flashing a smile knowing full well it looks like our boy might be interested in her. As such, Poo-Poo eagerly plans out an idea for Pato to become friends with her, so our boy discovers that the dancer's real name is Chibi, and she's currently working on fixing everyone's homes while helping set up any furniture anyone needs. Furthermore, Poo-Poo reveals that Chibi always goes to the onsen after practicing the island's traditional dance all night to help her cool down and relax her muscles, so if he plans to say hello anytime soon, then he should probably go tonight. However, the sussy turntables turn again when Poo-Poo randomly pulled out a bottle of special massage oil to give to our boy whilst busy explaining that Chibi injured her leg due to a wild boar, so she's unable to do any strenuous activity, but with this special oil, and he could do whatever he wants with it, as it heals everything. Now that Poo-Poo has become the greatest wing woman of all time, Pato gladly accepts the gift and gets ready to go on his brand new mission to bring home the 4th completion of his mission list. To no surprise to anyone, our boy wastes no time as he quickly goes to gank Chibi at the onsen, but this is not the kind of look you want your girl to give you, as it looks like Chibi wants to nope out of this situation as soon as possible. With her face giving Pato a very dismissing vibe, Bro realized he took the wrong approach, so he tries to explain to her that he ain't here to be a weirdo, but clearly he is since his dragon is fully awakened. With his banana tree fully sticking out like a giant sore thumb and with his explanation not going well, Bro gets ganked by his wing woman who hikes him up right in front of Chibi, causing Bro to freak out even more. At this point, our boy knew his Alpha Skibbity Rizzler move is not going according to plan, so he pulls out a Mega Brain move and begins squatting to hide his submarine directly underneath the water. Now that Chibi looks more comfortable after hiding his Team Rocket below water level, Pato starts talking about how he knows about her injury, so the only reason he came here in the first place is because he wanted to offer some help in relieving her muscles. After a few seconds of awkward silence, Chibi actually nods and gives our boy permission, but when Poo-Poo saw what just happened, she literally began shouting about how shocked she is that the plan actually worked before giving a thumbs up. Regardless, things escalate really quickly when Poo-Poo finally left the two alone, but the weird part is that the shy girl Chibi continues to not say anything to our boy, but at least she still follows through using actions instead of words. Usually though, these quiet and super shy type of girls are the ones that are the most crazy and freaky, so Bro better watch out. But we all know Pato ain't going to heed my warning with all that blood flow rushing down right now. Anyways, with our boy beginning his ultimate level massage on Chibi, Bro does not hold back, so he instantly goes for the legs just so he could use his sneak level 99 to check out all of her private property, while Chibi is busy laying flat on her stomach. Our sussy Becca then began to inch closer to the doors of Chibi's private property, and the closer he got to her double lip-sided door, the more she closed her eyes, so it looks like our boy is already in without having to do much. As such, Bro realized this is the biggest green light he will ever get in his life, so he began to push his luck further and further by the second, knowing full well that he will seal the deal with the dancer tonight, as it will soon be fusion dancing time. Eventually, our boy decided that 2 minutes of warming up the grilled hamburger buns in front of him was enough, so Pato began slowly separating the Chibi hamburger layers to get a closer look, causing her to appear like she just got jump scared. But as he continued on being guided by the sussy Fire Nation, Chibi finally looked behind her. And this time she went from giving a dismissive look at Pado earlier to now her giving him a look that everyone here wishes to see once in their lifetimes. Upon giving our boy the perfect approval type of look, and without saying a single word, Chibi went as far as to separate her own hamburger herself just so she could give our boy a better view before he began his invasion of her island. 2 seconds after landing his spaceship directly on Chibi's unexplored pristine moon, Bro started to make a face that would make any man envious. As we all knows, this means that Chibi has the most narrow and perfect runway he's ever experienced. Nonetheless, we all know how Pado rolls, so yes, he already did some explosion jutsu on Chibi within 1 minute of their sussy one versus one duel, as it was too difficult for him to handle, so they swapped defensive and attacking positions. After switching who attacks and who defends in their duel, Bro began to lose it even more, so he started to transform into a sussy guts look-alike from Berserk due to the intense powers a dancer wields as their hips don't lie. Nevertheless, the rice cake destroying was so great that Chibi ended up passing out while our boy literally ran out of mana for his explosion techniques, so the two ended up calling it quits, which left our boy totally exhausted and happy. However, just when I thought the next day was about to come, I was quickly proven wrong when Bro heard some weird sounds behind the walls, so Pado ended up calling upon Pupu to come out whilst claiming that he knows she's totally hiding near the door. It's then revealed that the entire time that Chibi and Pado were rice cake destroying, Pupu was actually eavesdropping on them like an absolute maniac whilst playing piano using her own personal instrument, so Bro ends up calling her over. And when she crawled over, Chibi woke up from her slumber, so the three ended up doing their first ever trio rice cake, destroying together like one happy family, which ended with our boy getting an entire glass of milk for free. Fast forward the next morning, Bro gets ganked by Mia, who urgently drags him out of bed and straight to the nearest beach side faster than Hurricane Helene, and upon reaching their destination, Bro discovered his boat is suddenly washed ashore. Of course, our boy quickly jumped on the boat to assess what happened to his hope and dreams, but his initial findings do not look good, especially since everything looks absolutely trash and destroyed beyond quick repair. Bro then spent the entire morning checking every nook and cranny to see if there is anything he can do to salvage his ship, but much to his dismay, everything is literally broken and nothing works. Regardless, Bro started crying, but not because he cannot go home right now, but because he had to put all the money he has ever saved up in life as collateral for the company he was working with, and now is all gone. Luckily though, Pado was able to salvage some items from his ship, which includes an extra pair of glasses, a kitchen knife, a spyglass, some medicine, a piece of rope, and the best of all items, a sussy magazine. But who needs that when you got unlimited rice cake destroying? Anyways, after packing everything up neatly in his backpack, Bro went to go back to his hut, and while doing so he accidentally bumped into another villager and sent her straight to the ground. Since he was too busy sulking about his monetary loss, it took him a while to figure out what just happened, and upon finally realizing he knocked one of the girls over, he profusely apologized and quickly tried to lend a hand, but the damage has already been done. Due to his recklessness, the girl tries to get away as fast as possible by making an excuse that she has to be somewhere right now whilst giving him a nasty look, so she bid farewell and continued on her way. However, after noticing that she kept stumbling onto things and running onto trees by accident, Bro realized that she might have an eyesight issue, so he quickly caught up with her and gave her his pair of glasses to see if it would be of any help. The girl is then left speechless after unlocking a new skill called high definition, so while she checked her surroundings like a first-time glasses user, our boy left and told her to keep it as a gift from him, so I am surprised he did not do anything sussy. However, as Bro disappeared into the horizon like an absolute Chad, the sussy magazine from his boat slipped out of his backpack, and since the girl can see in 4K now, she discovered how much of a walking cultured man Pado really is. Fast forward to nightfall. Glasses Girl is unable to sleep after unlocking such an overpowered skill that lets her see the true beauty of the world, so she goes and takes a moment to see the stars for the first time in a very long time. Now super thankful for such an amazing gift Bro bestowed upon her, Glasses Girl decides to personally go return our boy's sussy magazine in the middle of the night, since she saw some light coming from his hut, so clearly he must still be awake. But as she got closer and closer to the entrance of the hut, she kept hearing some weird sussy sounds from not only Pado, but also a girl. So she began to slowly creep forward like a ninja in the night sky with maxed out stealth skills to make sure she was undetected. Turns out the girl was actually Mia, busy doing some ultimate rice cake destruction with our boy. So when Pado accidentally looked up to take a breather, he accidentally made awkward eye contact with Glasses Girl. Nonetheless, after both of them blinked at the same time, Glasses Girl made a run for it as she did not know what to do in that awkward situation. But let's be real, she's a real one, as she did not want to stop her friend from enjoying the night. Unfortunately, as she channeled her inner eye show speed to create distance away from the hut, she trips and face plants like her usual self. But this time, the culprit was actually her sussy brain distracting her by thinking about rice cake destroying. Meanwhile, back at the hut itself, Mia reveals to Pato that Glass's girl is named Karen and she is the assistant to the chief, making her second in command on the island as she oversees daily operations and clothing for everyone. Nevertheless, as Mia and our boy continue to do their sussy 1 vs 1, Karen finally makes it back to her own hut, where she then began to sift through every page of the sussy magazine to learn more about the outside world, as she found it fascinating what they wear. But as she continued to go from page 1 all the way to page 69 of the magazine, her eyes widened and her jaws dropped after learning everything about all the sussy things mainlanders do during rice cake battling. This included things like double teaming the defender, so she started to close her eyes to imagine doing lockdown defense against our boy. And since she has seen what his ultimate dragon looks like, she became the sussy one.